Strap in because we are going on a journey to discover everything the Apple ecosystem can do. Yes, everything in one single video with no third-party apps, no third-party products, just pure unadulterated Apple. This is the last video that you're going to need to watch to learn about everything possible with the Apple ecosystem. Now, I only knew 47 of the 66 things, so why don't you comment down below how many of those you knew about? Starting off with Apple's most popular products, the iPhone. Universal Clipboard is a feature that allows you to copy and paste anything from any device to any device. You can copy phone numbers from your Mac to your iPhone, copy photos from your iPhone to your iPad. It even works with video files or documents. You just copy it on one device and then paste onto the second device. If you're working on your Mac and your phone is in your pocket, or maybe it's not anywhere near you, you can find any phone number in Safari, double click on it, click on the drop down arrow and then call from your iPhone. Look at the top corner and it will ask you if you want to call this number. Click call and it will use your Mac's microphone and Mac's speakers, but uses your iPhone to actually make the phone call. Are you ever around a friend's house and you want to hop on their Wi-Fi? Or perhaps you want to just share your own Wi-Fi password, but not tell people what it actually is? Well, the iPhone has a neat feature that allows you to share Wi-Fi passwords with your friends and basically any contacts on your phone. Just try and connect to whichever Wi-Fi network you want, and your friends will get a prompt on their phones to share the password with you. Not only that, but any Wi-Fi networks which are added to your phone are instantly shared and added to all of your other Apple devices. Now your iPad, your MacBook, and even your Apple Watch will work without having to manually join each device. Use Apple Photos to store photos, videos, and screenshots across all of your devices. Snap a photo on your iPhone, and it's instantly there on your iPad and on your Mac. Now you can take this a step further by having a screensaver album, and when you add photos to this album, your Mac screensaver or even your Apple TV can flick through these photo memories. You can create shared albums that you can share with your friends or your family, but with iOS 16 you can also create a shared library. Now this works in a different way than shared albums. Once you create the shared library, you can automatically have photos that you take when you're near that person appear in this shared library. Now I use it for family photos, so whenever I'm near my wife, any photos I take are automatically shared. It saves her from having to nag me to share the photos with her or have to remember to manually add them to a shared album. But you can also have this as a manual option too. This is still better than creating a photo album that you then share, because once you do set this up, when you go to snap a photo in the camera app, you can manually toggle here to enable photos you take to go straight to the shared library. If you are out and about and want to use your Mac, or maybe you have a Wi-Fi only iPad, but you still want internet connectivity, you can remotely enable and connect to the personal hotspot on your iPhone just by selecting it from the Wi-Fi menu on each device. Now this also works with family sharing by showing other family devices in this menu, if perhaps your partner has a signal but you don't perhaps, or your kids want to connect their Wi-Fi tablets to your phone for longer car journeys. Focus modes is something I use a lot more than I thought I would. So with focus modes, you can make your devices do certain things when certain things happen to them. For example, every time I drive to the gym, my iPhone's GPS knows that I'm at the gym, so it changes the home screen on my iPhone and changes the screen on my Apple Watch that I wear to ones that have fitness information on them, like quick access to start a workout, to my music, to my heart rate, or when I'm at home and I open a specific work application on my laptop, it mutes all the Apple devices in my room, really handy when I've got a lot of them, and it also disables any notifications. So when I shoot videos like this, I don't get interrupted by phone calls and messages and just general notifications that might appear on my screen. I have one for when I'm sleeping. I have one for when I'm with my family that stops me constantly checking my phone. And you can base it on a specific time of day, when you're at a certain location, or when you have a specific app open. The latest generation iPhone and Apple Watch can detect if you've been in a crash and automatically call emergency services. And using the Apple Home widget, you can quickly see the status of your house, the temperature, any lights that are on, if the alarm is set or not, or if any doors are open. And it gives you a really quick access to your smart home devices too. Over to the Mac now. Now, Handoff is a huge feature of Apple's ecosystem and covers quite a broad range of applications. On your Mac, for example, you can work on something in an Apple application. Maybe you're reading a PDF in Preview or browsing the web in Safari. You can then pick up your iPhone or your iPad and then continue from where you left off. Now this also works the other way around, from iPhone to Mac and iPhone to iPad or iPad to iPhone, and works for a huge number of Apple applications and third-party applications, including FaceTime. Continuity camera is a recent addition. Why use a subpar webcam for video calls when you could just use one of the best cameras that's already in your pocket? Simply grab a mount, put your iPhone on your Mac, And your Mac will now give you the option to use your iPhone's camera as your webcam and give you a much clearer image than using a built-in camera, including the ones built into Apple's own displays, and better than a lot of the third-party webcams. Now this also extends to taking photos. From supported applications, you can right-click, import and snap a photo or scan a document or even bring a sketch in from your iPhone or iPad to your Mac. Keychain is Apple's own password manager, which is built into all Apple devices and embedded into Safari when browsing the web. It gives you quick access to all of your usernames, your passwords, credit card information, two-factor authentication codes, and Wi-Fi passwords across all of your devices. And whilst Keychain is a great way to share this information across Apple devices, it does cause some issues if you ever want to use a device that's not Apple. Now I switch between Apple, Android, Mac, and Windows fairly often, so I prefer to store my information in 1Password, which is an app originally built exclusively for the Mac, but over the years they've expanded to practically every other operating system under the sun. It does more than Apple's Keychain though. I can share passwords with my family or my colleagues, and I can store way more than just usernames and passwords. And speaking of the Apple ecosystem and integration, I can unlock 1Password on my Mac by using my watch, which is pretty cool. Now I've been using them for a very long time now, and they kindly agreed to sponsor this video by giving viewers a 25% discount using the link down below. So huge thank you to 1Password for sponsoring this video and supporting people like me to help continue to create content for you. Over to the Apple Watch now, and unlocking your Mac gets easier when wearing an Apple Watch. Now if you lock your Mac whilst you go grab a coffee, when you come back, a quick nudge of the mouse will check your Apple Watch and automatically unlock your Mac without you having to type in any passwords. But your watch can unlock more than just your Mac. The watch can also act in the same way to unlock your iPhone when Face ID can't recognize you because perhaps you're wearing glasses or a helmet or a face mask. Now this still gives you security though, because the watch also monitors for constant contact with your wrist. So if you were to take your watch off, this feature stops working until you enter the passcode on your watch or on your iPhone. If you receive a phone call on your phone, you can answer the call from your watch or decline the call and respond with a message. And if you lose your iPhone, swipe up on the Apple Watch and tap the icon to have your iPhone play a loud noise, which will help you find it. But if you are in a dark room, then if you tap and hold the same icon, then your iPhone will play a noise and also flash the LED to make it even easier to find the phone in a dark room. Now, if you have friends or family with an Apple Watch, then you don't even need to call them anymore. Just use the built-in Walkie Talkie feature and pretend to be James Bond by tapping and holding your watch to speak. Hey baby, just testing something. Okay. But it one-ups traditional walkie-talkies by working anywhere in the world. You can walkie-talkie to your partner in the other room, in the next town over, or on the other side of the earth. It is so cool. You can hold 2 fingers down when sending a message on your Apple Watch, and that will send someone your actual heartbeat. Hold 2 fingers down and swipe down to send them a heartbreak. Tap 2 fingers to send a kiss, or touch and hold once to send a fireball. Number 22 is starting navigation on a phone. Now, when using Apple Maps to navigate somewhere on your iPhone, the navigation will go into the new dynamic island, but also your watch will show you the directions, which means you don't have to keep pulling out your phone from your pocket anymore. The watch will also tap on your wrist when you're coming up to a junction, so there's even less need to grab your phone. If you need to remember to take certain medications at certain times of the day, then you can set this up in the Apple Health app on your iPhone, and you'll get reminders on both your phone and your watch when it's time to take your medication. Number 24 is fall detection. Now, this one's a great feature for the elderly. If you take a fall whilst wearing an Apple Watch, the Apple Watch can automatically call the emergency services and ping out an SOS message to friends and family. Speaking of which, did you also know that the Apple Watch can detect irregular heartbeats, which could lead to longer term health issues? It can also notify you if you have excessively high or excessively low heartbeats when you're inactive. Another way of looking out for your health. Another thing I love about the Apple Watch is that you can share your workouts with friends and they'll then receive notifications when you complete workouts. But not only that, but you can also challenge your friends to fitness challenges and start this mini competition between a group of you, regardless of their location. Let's talk iPad now. The Sidecar feature lets you use an iPad as an extra screen for your Mac desktop to extend your screen onto the iPad. Now, this can be really useful if you're working off a laptop and want an extra screen, or even if you have a large screen already, it makes a great space for something like messages or your Spotify playlist. Now, you can pair an Apple Pencil to your iPad by just magnetically attaching it to the side of the iPad, or if you have an older style traditional Apple Pencil, by connecting it into the light. Over to the Mac now. Number 29, universal control. Now, you can use a single keyboard and mouse across multiple Apple devices by just pushing your mouse to the edge of your screen, and your cursor will seamlessly move over to the other device. Now, this works from Mac to Mac and Mac to iPad, but it's not just the ability to control each device. You can also drag items from one device to the other. And this also works with both your own devices and your friends' devices too. Number 30, and one of the things I love the most about using a Mac with my iPhone is when verification codes come through on my iPhone, well, Safari will just autofill from those codes. The same thing happens on iPhones and on iPads. Over to Apple Audio now. Number 31, play any music on your iPhone and you just hold your phone near an Apple HomePod speaker or HomePod Mini and your music will be transferred automatically over to play on the speaker instead. Now this works for you when you're on a phone call. Again, just hold the phone close to the HomePod and your phone call will transfer over to the speaker. If you're heading out, the reverse also works. If something is playing on the HomePod or you're already on a phone call on a HomePod, walk up to the HomePod and tap your phone for the audio to be transferred to your phone. Number 32, Apple has made it incredibly easy to pair your AirPods to any Apple device. If you pop open the lid of your AirPods or Beats Fits Pros or remove the AirPod Maxes from their case, then just hold them near the device you want to pair them with, whether that's iPhone, iPad, Mac, or even Apple TV, and it will pop up on the screen and prompt you to connect automatically. And the good news here is that once you've paired with one device, the headphones will now work across all of your devices, which then opens up another feature. Now out of the box, AirPods can switch seamlessly between multiple devices. Now you can be sat down working on your Mac and then answer a phone call, and then your headphones will automatically switch to your iPhone. Now finish your call, pick up your iPad, and the headphones will switch across again. Number 34, the HomePod and HomePod Mini can listen out for any smoke or carbon monoxide alarms in your house and then send notifications to every other Apple device if they go off. And you can actually add users to each HomePod to get personalized information from Siri, depending on who's speaking. You can ask Siri to read or send messages, check your calendar, make calls, play your music, add items to your reminders, or even ask for your own personalized updates. And if you're looking for your Apple devices, be it a watch, phone, Mac, or iPad, you can say, "Find my iPhone."
Looking for Pete's iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's nearby. Pinging your iPhone now.
Or find my watch, and you can even use this for other devices. Find my wife's phone. Hey Siri, find my iPad.
Which one? Pete's iPad or iPad?
Pete's iPad.
Looking for Pete's iPad Pro 12.9 inch, 5th generation. It's nearby. Pinging your iPad Pro 12.9 inch, 5th generation now.
Number 37, I love this one. Now, if you're using a smart doorbell that supports Apple Secure Video, then any HomePods you have around the house will announce the name of who is at the door. Now, it does this by using facial recognition and matching it with your iCloud Photos library to identify who is who, which is really cool. Number 38, you can use your Apple devices as an intercom. Say, "Intercom, dinner's ready," to announce it across every device that's enabled. Dinner's ready. Or you can tell it to ask everyone, has the dog been fed? You can send this to specific areas too, or announce upstairs, wake up everybody. You can configure which devices and people this goes to, but it means you could do things like use your iPhone to tell your family that you're 5 minutes away from home and that you'll be there soon. Now, one HomePod sounds great, but if you get 2 HomePods or 2 HomePod Minis, you can group them to give you a stereo pair, and this is great for listening to music, but if you also pair these with an Apple TV, you can use the HomePods as your TV speakers, which will likely be much better than using the built-in speakers on your TV. Not only this, but if you connect the Apple TV to the audio return input on your TV, then you can also use the HomePods to play back audio from other inputs on your TV, like games consoles or using the built-in smart TV apps. Speaking of which, now the Apple TV might seem just like another TV device, but it still has some Apple integrations that make it a really great part of the Apple ecosystem. Firstly, we've all been in the position of losing the remote control, particularly if you have kids. But with an Apple TV, if this happens, you can just use your watch or even your iPhone to control your Apple TV as a remote control. And it goes a step beyond this though, because how often have you got frustrated at having to type in long usernames and email addresses or passwords or search for something on your TV? With an Apple TV and an iPhone, anytime you're prompted to type in a text box, you just tap the notification on your iPhone and you can now type using your iPhone's keyboard and even copy and paste information from, say, your password manager. Also, whilst watching your Apple TV, the dynamic island on your iPhone will display the content that you're watching, as well as some quick access controls to go and control your Apple TV. Number 43, Apple Fitness is a collection of Apple-made workouts covering a broad range of workout styles. Now, if you want to watch any of these workouts using an Apple TV and you're wearing an Apple Watch, then your heart rate and other statistics will appear on the screen whilst you're working out, which is really cool. Now, one of the Apple TV features I absolutely love is when watching something on the Apple TV and someone either comes to your front door or they press the doorbell, it can bring up a video feed in the corner to show you who is there. Now it can also do the same with other cameras around the house. If you want to put a camera upstairs, for example, to check your kids aren't getting out of bed when they should be asleep, like we do, this can also pop up on the Apple TV. Number 45, this one's really cool. Now a feature you can get with the Apple TV when combined with an iPhone is that you can use your iPhone's cameras to calibrate the colors of your TV so they are as accurate as possible. Now this is something that typically involves specialist equipment that you have to then buy separately, but because the Apple ecosystem, Apple knows exactly what hardware is in the iPhone and the color profile of those cameras, so it can adapt the colors of the Apple TV to adapt to whichever TV you are using. Number 46. Now, if you're watching TV late at night, you can pair an Apple TV with up to 2 pairs of AirPods, and you can now enjoy your Apple TV without using your speakers with the quiet and comfort of your own headphones. Number 47. On an Apple TV, Siri knows who is talking to it. So you just say, switch to my profile, play my music, or what should I watch to get Siri to respond based on your personalized recommendations. Number 48 is Shareplay on Apple TV. Now you can start a FaceTime call in the Apple TV app on your iPhone or iPad, and a group of you can then watch the content together. You can now even throw this up on a big screen by using the Apple TV, so you and a group of socially distanced friends, remember that, can enjoy watching a movie or a TV show together whilst you're in completely different locations. Also, if a friend ever messages you any recommendations, those recommendations can automatically appear in your Watch Now section in the Apple TV app. When they show up, you also see the name of the person who has recommended that movie or show, which is really great for staying on top of the latest and greatest TV shows or movies. Go watch Ted Lasso, it's really good. Now, number 50, with an Apple TV and an iPhone or an iPad, you can start a FaceTime call, then on your Apple TV, start a workout, and then share this to your iPhone or your iPad via Shareplay. And now you and a group of up to 32 people, believe it or not, can do a group workout together via FaceTime. And just like before, your stats can show up on the screen at the same time from your Apple Watch. But let's not forget one of Apple's smallest and greatest creations, the Apple AirTag. Now this tiny device lets you track its location by pinging the network of the millions and billions probably of iPhones worldwide. And that enables this tiny coin-sized device to be tracked even whilst it is 36,000 feet into the sky on a commercial airplane. Now, using Apple's ultra-wideband technology, you can accurately track the location of your AirTag, enabling you to find missing luggage, perhaps a stolen car, or even see that the package you're expecting is sitting at the courier's depot and not lost like FedEx keeps telling you. And if you leave something behind, your phone or your watch will let you know. Ooh, right, onto some family ecosystem tips here. Number 52, family sharing allows you to share much of your Apple experience with up to 5 other family members. That's things like your Apple Music, TV, news, arcade, books, photos, apps you've purchased, and even the iCloud storage plan itself. It is a great way to save money rather than both you and a partner both separately subscribing to iCloud separately, and it means that if you buy an app, then the rest of the family can also use it without having to subscribe themselves. Now this also creates a shared photo album that's shared between all of your family and a family calendar which is added onto everyone's Apple device, so you can all keep track of when family events are now taking place. Once you've set it up, you can also track the location of your family members and help find their missing devices. And if you have younger children, Apple's ability to restrict features and content on the devices is super handy. You can force the devices your children use to ask you for permission before they can download any apps, free or paid, which is a very useful feature. You can also restrict the content they can see to be more age appropriate. You can set time limits on how much time they spend on specific apps or block apps altogether. Now for my kids, they're allowed certain apps for only an hour a day, and all the apps shut off at their bedtime. Now all of this is given to you in a screen time report to show you how much time they've spent overall using the iPhone or iPad each week, much like we get on our own phones. And number 54, for younger children who don't yet have an iPhone, but you do want them to have something, then they can have an Apple Watch and still make phone calls, still send messages, and share their location with you, even if they don't have a phone. Over to CarPlay now, number 55. Now, if you jump in a car and are using CarPlay, it will suggest likely destinations by using information from your email, your text messages, contacts, calendars, and just learning places you frequently visit. Now for me, every morning when I get into my car, it automatically knows I'm going to the gym, so it navigates there. And when I jump back in, it knows to take me home again. But number 56, Coming soon to select cars is Apple's next generation CarPlay, which has the ability to take over all the screens in your car instead of just the small rectangle that Apple's kind of CarPlay currently operates in. Now this means it will be Apple software which shows you how fast you're driving, as well as controls over the car's functions like air conditioning, heated seats, trip statistics, and much, much more. Number 57, and this is no particular device we're talking about here. Apple's Find My app lets you find any of your devices, phones, tablets, headphones, earbuds, Macs. Basically, if you own anything Apple, then it's it there, aside from the Apple TV remote. Where is my phone?
Looking for Pete's iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's nearby. Pinging your iPhone now.
If you use any Airtags, then these will also show up here as well. And it also lets you find people if people have shared their location with you from their phone. And that includes asking Siri on any device, including HomePods, where people are. Hey, where's Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi is about 9 kilometers away, near Princess Coaches, Botley Road.
Now, number 58, and one thing I've come to appreciate a lot this week, as you might see, is how you can set up any Apple device by just holding it near another Apple device. Setting up a new Apple TV, for example, just hold your iPhone near it and it will automatically send over Wi-Fi information and add your Apple ID. There is just no messing around with typing in passwords and trying to join Wi-Fi. Now with the HomePods, you simply hold the phone near it and then it starts the pairing process where you just point the cameras at the top of it. And then the HomePod is basically set up at that stage. Same with an Apple Watch. Simply hold it close and then use the camera to scan in the pattern on top. And it just makes for this effortless experience when setting up new Apple devices and makes it easier for people of all ages and all skill levels to set up brand new devices. Of course, one of Apple's biggest features is iMessage. Now the ability to send messages to other Apple users, including photos, videos, audio, and voice recordings, as well as sending with special effects and emojis. And you can access, send, and receive these messages on any Apple device. So it doesn't matter which device you're using, you will always have access to the same message history. Number 60, a clever feature of Apple's Siri integration is that when you say the trigger phrase, it will go through a process of choosing the most appropriate device to respond from. Now, typically, if you have a HomePod, then it will always be this device which responds. Otherwise, whichever device heard you the best or was the most recently raised or used will be used. Like iMessage, Airdrop is one of the highly used features which lets you send files between your devices. Now, if you want to transfer a photo or a video to another device or even a friend, then you can just use Airdrop to send it. It works from Apple to Apple only, but across iPhone, iPad, Mac, and the person you're sending it to doesn't have to be in your contacts or have you added to their phone, as it just works off of Bluetooth proximity. Now, iCloud is Apple's name that encompasses a lot of products, but still one of the most reassuring features of Apple's ecosystem is that by using iCloud, all of your device's configurations can be backed up automatically in the background. For iOS devices like the Apple Watch or iPhones and iPads, this essentially saves all of the settings, the photos, the apps that are installed, and everything gets saved to iCloud. Now, if you ever buy a new device, you can just restore it from iCloud and everything will be downloaded to that new device and make that new device exactly the same as you had on your old device. Now, it works when upgrading or even downgrading, as long as those devices run the same version of the software as each other. But you can say back up a 12.9-inch iPad Pro and restore it to an iPad mini. And aside from the size difference, it will be identical. Now, Apple is well known for talking about how it takes care of users' privacy. But did you also know that recently Apple added a feature that allows you to totally protect the majority of your data across all of your devices, so Apple themselves can't even access it. It's called Advanced Data Protection for iCloud, and once switched on, it encrypts all of your data across most of Apple's apps and features. Now, without it enabled, your data is still encrypted, but as Apple hold the decryption keys, it's still technically possible for somebody to access your data. So I would recommend getting this enabled on all your devices as soon as possible. And again, if you enable this on one device, it will protect all of your devices at once, so no need to do this process individually on each of your devices. You can also take this a step further by using a third-party security key like this YubiKey here to protect your account. Again, added fairly recently, once you add a security key to your account, it will prevent anybody from signing into your account on a new device unless they physically have your key. So you sign into Apple, insert your key, tap the contact on the top of this, and now you can sign in. Airplay is next up, and I'm sure you've heard of it. You can mirror your device to any other device. Now, this means if you're watching something on your iPhone or your iPad or your Mac, then you can mirror your screen onto another Apple device. And number 66, Apple HomeKit is something that we've touched on in this video, but its reach is so far and so wide, far beyond what I can explain already in this video. But Apple's Home app is a huge platform that enables you to connect smart home devices like smart lighting, heating, air conditioning, and a whole host of other devices. You can create automations along with your location from devices like your iPhone to switch off devices or switch them on when you enter or leave your house. And with upcoming new devices now supporting the new Matter standard, the smart home landscape is about to get much more interesting. We're going to be posting some videos on this channel about the Apple Home system, so do subscribe if you're interested in that. But that has been your definitive guide to the Apple ecosystem. Now, there was a ton of work involved in this video, and I hope you appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below, did I miss anything? And should I make the same video about the Samsung/Android ecosystem? Let me know. Until next time.